Imagine standing at the crossroads of life, where every choice, every action, can determine your success or failure. Now, picture yourself in the midst of battle, where your life hangs by a thread, and the only thing that can ensure victory is your ability to act with unwavering precision, flexibility, and insight. How do you respond to such a challenge? For the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi, the answer came in the form of his innovative dual sword style, or Niten Ichi-ryu. The image of Musashi, wielding two swords, is one of the most iconic symbols of martial artistry and strategy in history. But behind this image lies a philosophy far deeper than simply mastering swordplay. Musashi's dual sword style represents a balance between strength and subtlety, offense and defense, the known and the unknown. It is a strategy that has been applied to far more than just combat, transcending the battlefield and influencing everything from leadership to personal growth. So, what made Musashi's dual sword style so effective? And what deeper symbolism can we extract from it to apply to our own lives? In this essay, we will explore the symbolism and effectiveness of Musashi's dual sword style, examining how it reflects his approach to life and strategy, and how its principles can be applied beyond the sword to enrich our personal and professional pursuits. Welcome to the unfolding journey, where we dive into timeless philosophies and strategies, discovering lessons from the past that can shape our future. This channel is dedicated to exploring the teachings of history's greatest minds, unlocking wisdom that can guide us toward mastery, growth, and success in the modern world. From the martial strategies of samurai to the deep philosophies of ancient cultures, we bring you ideas that can transform your mindset and approach to life. In today's video, we'll uncover the secrets behind Musashi's dual sword style, what it symbolizes, and how it made him one of the greatest swordsmen in history. Get ready to learn how these principles can be applied to your own challenges as we dive deep into the world of Miyamoto Musashi. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to join us on this unfolding journey of wisdom and self-mastery. Musashi's two-sword fighting style, Niten Ichi-ryu, literally translates to two heavens, one school, or two swords, one technique. At its core, this style was revolutionary in the way it balanced the offensive and defensive aspects of combat. While other swordsmen of Musashi's time adhered to traditional single-sword techniques, Musashi saw the potential to combine the strengths of both a long and short sword in a way that was never seen before. The idea of dual wielding was not a new concept in Japanese martial arts. However, Musashi's unique approach to it was different. Unlike many of his contemporaries, who relied on a rigid adherence to conventional fighting styles, Musashi's method was dynamic, fluid, and adaptable to a variety of situations. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi describes how he developed his style through experimentation and experience, rather than relying solely on the teachings of others. Musashi's approach was rooted in practical application, honed through real battles rather than formal training. His two-sword style allowed him to strike with both swords simultaneously, creating unpredictable and overwhelming offense, while using the shorter sword to defend and parry. In essence, the two swords worked together in perfect harmony, making Musashi's fighting technique both offensive and defensive at the same time. But beyond the battlefield, the dual sword style symbolized a deeper philosophy for Musashi. It represented the unity of opposites, strength and subtlety, defense and offense, order and chaos. This balance between two opposing forces is central to Musashi's entire worldview and strategic approach. Musashi's two-sword style is more than just a martial technique. It carries with it a powerful symbol of balance and adaptability. In the world of swordsmanship, the long sword, or katana, was traditionally viewed as the weapon of choice for samurai. It represented the warrior's strength, resolve, and offensive power. On the other hand, the short sword, or wakizashi, was often seen as a companion weapon, a tool for defense, close combat, and when necessary, even a means of committing seppuku, or ritual suicide. It had a much subtler role in combat. By wielding both swords at the same time, Musashi created a balance between these two extremes. The long sword symbolized his offensive power and ability to strike with force, while the short sword represented his defensive capabilities, allowing him to protect himself from counterattacks and adapt to the opponent's moves. In this way, Musashi's two-sword style demonstrated the unity of opposites, a theme that is prevalent in many Eastern philosophies, particularly in Yin and Yang. The dual-sword style also reflects Musashi's view of life and strategy. In the same way that he used both swords to balance offense and defense, he applied the same mindset to every aspect of his life. Musashi was not merely a fighter, he was also a strategist, a thinker, and an artist. He understood that success in life requires balance, whether between action and contemplation, strength and subtlety, or simplicity and complexity. His dual-sword style embodies this philosophy in a very practical way. Additionally, the two swords are also a metaphor for duality in human nature. We often face internal conflict between our more impulsive, aggressive instincts and our calmer, more rational self. Musashi's technique teaches us to acknowledge and integrate both sides of ourselves, to understand that our strengths and weaknesses can coexist and complement each other if we learn how to balance them. While the symbolism of Musashi's two-sword style is profound, its effectiveness in combat was the ultimate test of its value. Musashi's strategy of wielding both the long and short swords simultaneously proved to be highly effective against opponents who relied on traditional, single-sword techniques. One of the key advantages of the dual-sword style was its versatility. Musashi could switch between attacking with the long sword and defending with the short sword, or he could use both to attack at the same time. This made his style unpredictable and difficult to counter. In a fight, unpredictability is a powerful asset. Opponents often rely on patterns and techniques they are familiar with, but Musashi's ability to adapt and shift his approach kept his adversaries on the defensive. Another key feature of the dual-sword style was its ability to dominate the battlefield by controlling both distance and engagement. Musashi could use the long sword to keep an opponent at bay while preparing to strike with the short sword. This combination allowed him to control the tempo of the fight, dictate the pace, and strike when the opportunity arose. His technique was fluid, intuitive, and strategic, making it difficult for his opponents to anticipate his next move. But Musashi's effectiveness with his dual-sword style was not just about technical skill, it was also about his mental and psychological prowess. Musashi understood that the mind is just as important as the body in combat. He was a master of psychological warfare, often using his knowledge of his opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand before the fight even began. His dual-sword style was not just a tool for physical domination, it was also a way to maintain mental clarity and control in the heat of battle. Beyond combat, applying Musashi's dual-sword philosophy to life. Although Musashi's dual-sword style was born from his battles, its lessons extend far beyond the battlefield. The principles behind Niten Ichi-ryu can be applied to any area of life where strategy, balance, and adaptability are essential. Balance in life. Much like Musashi's dual-sword technique, life requires a balance between opposing forces. Whether in our personal or professional lives, we often face challenges that demand both strength and subtlety, action and reflection. By embracing the duality of our nature, we can find harmony in the way we approach problems and solutions. Just as Musashi balanced offense and defense with his swords, we can balance our goals with our actions, being both bold and thoughtful in our approach to life's challenges. Adaptability. Musashi's dual-sword style also teaches us the importance of adaptability. Life is rarely predictable, and we must be ready to shift our approach depending on the situation. By practicing adaptability, we become more capable of handling the unexpected, whether it's in the form of a career change, a personal crisis, or a shifting opportunity. Like Musashi, we must learn to be flexible and responsive, adjusting our strategies as needed to succeed. Mental clarity. Finally, Musashi's mastery of the dual-sword style highlights the importance of mental clarity. The ability to act decisively and effectively in any situation requires a clear, focused mind. In a world full of distractions and noise, cultivating mental clarity allows us to think more strategically and make better decisions. By embracing the principles of Mushin or no mind, we can learn to detach ourselves from unnecessary thoughts and reactions, allowing our true potential to emerge in the face of challenges. In conclusion, Musashi's dual sword style, Niten Ichi-ryu, is a masterful combination of symbolism and effectiveness. It represents the balance between opposing forces and the ability to adapt to any situation. Its principles transcend the battlefield and offer valuable lessons for navigating the complexities of modern life. By embracing Musashi's teachings of balance, adaptability, and mental clarity, we can cultivate the skills necessary for success in any area of life. Whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, the dual sword philosophy teaches us that true mastery lies in our ability to balance opposing forces and act with intention and clarity. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Musashi's dual sword style, make sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel for more insights into timeless strategies, philosophies, and the art of self-mastery. Join us as we continue to uncover wisdom from the past to help you unlock your full potential. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you balance opposing forces in your own life? Subscribe now to start your journey toward mastery.